Joining me is our Tuesday regular, National Senator Matt Canavan, the former Resources Minister. How I wish that man was still the Resources Minister. Matt Canavan, thank you so much for your time. The opposition did mock Albanese as Airbus Albo. Now they're saying he should go to the meeting. Look, hypocrisy aside, politics aside, should he or should he not go?
Absolutely should go. I mean, it's very strange that I think he's been invited. That's the reporting that we're not a member of NATO, of course, but NATO countries have invited Australia, and most of those countries make up our best and closest allies. And for the reasons you've outlined very clearly, he should go. Now, there's only two explanations here. One is the one you posited, that he is planning an early election. I suppose we'll find that out in the weeks ahead. The other explanation is that a little bit of name calling has got Anthony scared. And how can Anthony Albanese be trusted to stand up in a geopolitically tense environment if he can't make the right decisions in response to just a little bit of name calling in our press, and yes, by the opposition? I mean, our problem with Anthony Albanese's travel last year and most of the year before was some of the inconsequential trips he went on, like 2 trips to the US within a month or so. Big meetings like this, clearly Australia needs senior representation, and if other nations' leaders are there, our leaders should be as well.
Well, don't forget a trip flying to Tuvalu, of all places, to take in so-called climate refugees when there is no climate emergency there. Look, I think the critics of the opposition's hypocrisy, or alleged hypocrisy here, don't seem to understand you can have too many trips at one stage and not enough at the other, right? There is a happy medium, and I think Albanese has missed it. Now, the government has passed a new law banning live sheep exports. They'll be phased out over the next 4 years. Farmers are furious, but the Prime Minister said today they will be compensated. Here he is.
They have an industry that's worth $80 million. The package that we have on the table is currently worth $107 million, greater than
Order. The member for
the annual industry.
Now, Albanese was actually playing tricks there. The industry may be worth $80 million, I don't know, but that is a year, and the compensation is for just 1 year. Now, the live trade export, Matt Canavan, is very tough on the animals. I think most people would agree with that. But is banning it fair enough?
Well, actually, I don't agree with you on that point there. Animals, sheep on these vessels actually put on weight. They put on wool. And sheep that are stressed or not in a good environment don't do that. So they are well treated on these vessels. Now, there have been some incidents of poor treatment of animals, which can of course occur on land, just as it can on ship. But the standards have improved immeasurably since those incidents. And the answer here is the proper regulation and punishment of those who do the wrong thing, not ban the industry for an entire industry. This is the first time, I think, in our Commonwealth's history that I could find where a Commonwealth government has made a type of farming illegal. It will now be illegal to grow this type of food and send it to customers overseas. The Prime Minister, you can understand Labor just doesn't seem to get business, because the Prime Minister is saying, look, this industry is worth $80 million a year, but I've given them $107 million, so they should be happy. Well, hang on, let's just think about your own circumstance. If I told you you're out of a job for life, I'm going to put you out of work for life, but I'm going to give you a redundancy package of 1 year's wage, you wouldn't accept that. You wouldn't accept that. When you invest in a company, its value is worth multiples of its annual earnings, usually 15 to 20, sometimes more multiples. So this package should be in the billions, not the hundreds of millions, if this government was serious about helping farmers in our country.
And it won't help if the farmer actually goes under and towns deplete and all that kind of thing. Absolutely correct. Matt Canavan, the Nationals have got the Liberals to agree to a push for new laws against the big supermarkets and Bunnings, so that if they abuse their power, their market power, because they're heavily concentrated, they could be forced to divest some of their business, which seems a very drastic move. I just wonder if these powers would ever be used, given that you have to go to a court and prove that breaking up these companies would mean lots more competition and was in the national interest and not cause big job losses, etc., etc. And then there's the question of, is there anyone to buy the government? You know, this is the point that Craig Emerson made in his report for the government. Isn't this just pretending to do something?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I've always said, I've supported these laws for a long time, as has the Nationals Party. We've always said these would be used only rarely. They wouldn't be a frequent resort. We hope maybe they would never be used if there was no misconduct of this kind. It would only occur in the case of serious and repeated misconduct. And the threat of a penalty like this obviously would deter such contact. We have seen standover tactics by our major supermarkets over the past decade, and the penalties that are currently available are clearly inadequate to stop that behaviour. Now, laws like this exist already in almost every developed country. They were last used in the United States successfully in the 1980s, yes, a long time ago, but by that apparently noted communist Ronald Reagan. The Reagan administration split up AT&T in the 1980s, and it did coincide after that split up with an amazing flourishing of innovation in the telecommunications sector in the United States and help benefit the whole world.
I'm not sure that's a good analogy with our supermarkets, to be honest.
So I mean, we do need competition, Andrew.
No, I'm going to bet you, Matt. I'm going to bet you that before that, these laws will, if they go through, will never be used in your term in Parliament or my term here. They will never be used. But anyway, look, we'll see.
I'm not going to take that bet, but I think we need these type of laws. So what's the problem with them if they don't get used? It's not going to, the sky's not going to fall in either. But I think it will deter bad behaviour.
Well, I don't know. So much bureaucracy. Matt Canavan, thank you so much for your time.